Senator Monaco. All right. Once again, as I said with the Deputy Chief Justice, I trust the interviewers process. I'm pretty sure all of us feel the same here, so I'm just gonna motion previous question. Do I see any dissent to that motion? Okay, seeing none, we will now move into voting on these candidates. Motion via unanimous consent. Do I see any dissent to that motion? Seeing none, these candidates will be accepted with unanimous consent.
Okay, you all hear the mic. So then I'll state your name when I ask. Okay. I state your name. Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
to defend and uphold the rules and regulations
and uphold the rules and regulations
set forth by the Constitution
set forth by the Constitution
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University,
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University,
and will rightfully perform the duties of my office
and will rightfully perform the duties of my office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
We'll now move into the ratification of the Deputy Director of Governmental Affairs.
You guys just got to sit court.
Congratulations to all of you on judicial as well.
Hello all, my name is Heather Geth. I am the Deputy Director of Governmental Affairs. Sorry guys. I'm a senior studying international studies and political science.
So Haley gave a really impressive interview back in the spring, and just some of her prior experience in ASCSU was really beneficial just in different capacities. She was a member of SFRB for an entire year, and then had also interned with my previous vice president, Alex Silverhart. And so a lot of that type of experience in ASCSU, now formally joining in a cabinet role and is really passionate about some of the governmental affairs work. So really excited. I think now we'll just open it up to questions.
We'll begin 10 minutes of Q&A. No questions? Okay. Okay, then I guess you can take a step outside. Let's begin 10 minutes of discussion and debate with Senator Monanti. But pretty much is that substantial enough? I feel like that's substantial enough. If there's anyone on the speakers list, I'd motion to adopt it. Is there anyone on the speakers list?
Just you.
All right, previous question then. Motion, previous question. Second. Do I see any dissent to that motion? Okay, we'll now begin voting on this candidate. Motion via unanimous consent. Do I see any dissent to that motion? Seeing none, this candidate is accepted with unanimous consent.
I state your name.
I, Haley Regeth,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to defend and uphold the rules and regulations
to defend and uphold the rules and regulations
set forth by the Constitution
set forth by the Constitution
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University,
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University,
and will rightfully perform the duties of my office
and will rightfully perform the duties of my office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Moving on now to the BSOF qualification. If that is you, you may come down. Yeah, that's 10 minutes to introduce the candidates. Okay.
Hi, everybody. You guys are looking at this year's BSOP board. We do have two joining virtually. So I'll have everybody just kind of give a quick introduction about themselves, and then the people online can do a quick one as well. Sir.
Hi, everybody. Once again, my name is Joseph Godshaw. I'm a third-year student studying political science and business financing with a minor in legal studies. I served on the summer board, current director of public relations. Was there something? Yeah. Thanks.
Everyone, Nick, I'm a senior political science major, and this will be my 4th year in BSOF. So really excited to teach everybody what BSOF's about and hand out some money to some really great registered student organizations.
Hi, everyone. I'm Grace. I'm a junior studying political science, and I also play tennis and I work for the Writing Center, and this will be my 2nd year on BSOP.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lorenzo. I'm a third year here. I'm studying finance and financial planning. Just pretty excited to handle some finances more. And yeah, just pretty excited.
Hi everyone, my name is Maddie. I am a third year here. I am currently studying exploratory business with a minor in music business. This is going to be my first year with BSOF, and I'm super excited to get to know everyone and just get more involved with the community here.
Hi everyone, I'm Irene. I am a junior studying biomedical sciences at CSU. I am an international student from Pakistan, and I've been working for international programs for the past 2 years. Excited to work with BSOP this year. Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Sophie. You guys already got my introduction earlier, but I'm the Deputy Director of Finance, and I'm super excited this year. I think we have a great board set up.
Hi, strangers. I'm Brooklyn Reese. I'm your speaker for 4. I'm a 2nd year studying political science and neuroscience here at CSU, and BSOP is wonderful.
You here for them?
All right, Kyle West, if you can hear me, go ahead.
Hello, all. My name's Kyle West. Sorry I couldn't be there in person with you today. I'm a 4th year. I'm a double major in both finance and economics. And this year I'm really excited to help clubs at CSU do what they're meant to do and create a great student experience for everyone.
Yeah. It should switch over to him. Jakai, are you there? It should switch over to you if you unmute and start talking.
I'll call.
You might still be on the Zoom. Was there anyone else or just those two?
It's just
See if this will work. I know, well, he's not, I don't think he's been actually on here because I've been chatting.
Okay, we can modify him next time. All right, guys. I'm super excited about this new board. I've talked with everybody individually, and I know that they care deeply about the CSU community and just making it better. We're excited.
We can begin Q&A with the folks with the placard. Senator, what's your last name again? Laura Parga, thank you.
Okay. For those of you who don't know me, I'm not gonna use this microphone actually. I'm gonna use this one so I can look at you. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Vladimir. And my question for y'all is, how are you guys planning to represent everyone at CSU? Like absolutely everyone. I don't know, kind of just like, I kind of want to hear, it's kind of like, how do you plan to uphold diversity, equity, and inclusion kind of question? But yeah, go for it.
So that,
Are we not allowed to ask that?
no, so that's like an interview question. These candidates have all been interviewed. Mostly it's to check that the process was followed, that we have qualified candidates.
What you can ask is if questions like that were asked in their interview process in the way that they were vetted for the positions.
Perfect.
Just to clear the air, so we actually do have 2 new members that have not actually been ratified. So Maddie and Lorenzo have not been ratified before. Everyone else is re-ratification. So does that mean that the question can be directed towards Maddie and Lorenzo then, since they haven't been asked this question?
We didn't put these candidates on a slate. So
Okay,
technically, yes.
okay. So we'll put that out there so that no one's confused.
Okay, well, now I'm confused.
If you want to ask a question to have all of them answer, you would need to motion to put them on a slate, or you can direct your question to a specific candidate.
Okay, so I'm directed to Maddie and Lorenzo. Got it. Still new at this, bear with me, be patient. So were you guys asked about diversity, equity, and inclusion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, my bad.
There you go.
Go ahead.
I can just share a little bit about what I've thought about it. I think that diversity or DEI is super important, especially in the CSU community, just because of the wide variety that we have here, ethnicities, cultural, age groups, everything like that. So I think it's super important, obviously, on campus to make sure that everyone feels welcomed and safe enough to share their organizations with us and just feel open to speak about it without judgment.
So to piggyback off that, I think it's also important when clubs are asking us maybe for some finances, we need to take into consideration everyone's values are all from different backgrounds, everyone's different. So just being transparent with them and not judging anyone based off who they are or what they are, just to hear them out, hear everyone out.
Okay, I yield my time.
Any additional questions? I've seen none. Unless we want to vote on these candidates individually, I would entertain a motion to put them on the slate. I would like to make that motion. I would like to make that motion. Does that motion have a second? Okay. Do I see any dissent to that? Seeing none, these candidates will be put on the slate. And now you all can take a step outside and we can do special debate. Giving 10 minutes of discussion and debate with Senator Monti.
But, yeah, no. Motion previous question.
We do have to have some kind of discussion.
So vibes isn't long enough.
No.
All right, so, yeah, no, good, we had a nice chat there. We're gonna do 10 minutes of discussion. But yeah, no, I'm fine with them. Motion previous question.
Do I see a second to that motion? Do I see any dissent to that motion? Okay, seeing none, we'll now vote on these candidates.
Motion via unanimous consent.
Do I see any dissent to that? Okay, seeing none, these candidates will be accepted with unanimous consent. And come back in.
I'm out. We're actually doing.
That's good, yeah, wait a minute.
Like our starting note.
It's I, okay. I state your name.
I, Kyle West,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to defend and uphold the rules and regulations
to defend and uphold the rules and regulations
set forth by the Constitution
set forth by the Constitution
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University,
and will rightfully perform the duties of my office
and will rightfully perform the duties of my office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you all. We will now move into old business with the Humanity and Community Act. And we will begin 10 minutes of discussion and debate.
If I may, I have a statement from the bill's primary author. Good evening, 54th Senate. I wish I could be there tonight during my frustration. I am thankful for Senator Belkier for reading my statement on my behalf. My name is Sandy Trout, and I am the co-founder and chair emeritus of the Accessibility Caucus and Senator Emeritus of the Student Disability Center. I'm the primary author of this bill and am here yet again asking the Senate to speak for the students. This bill was passed with unanimous consent by the Senate on May 3rd. Unanimous. Since this bill was last in front of y'all, arrest warrants have been issued for both Israeli and Hamas leadership. The International Court of Justice has found multiple and serious international law violations by Israel towards Palestinians in the occupied Palestinian territory, including, for the first time, finding Israel responsible for apartheid, and thousands of more innocent Palestinian men and women and children have been brutally slaughtered. I know the Senate will do the right thing and will again overturn this veto. I am requesting that once again that this bill is repassed and that a signed copy be sent to me. To conclude, I will reiterate what I said last time I was in the Senate chamber. History will remember what we did, and importantly, what we did not do in this moment. Forever in community, and Viva la Palestine. I yield.
Yeah, I apologize. I am getting ahead of myself again. We will move this bill in abstract.
This bill aims to bring awareness to the ongoing rise of bias-based hatred expressed toward Arab, Muslim, Jewish, Israeli, Palestinian, and students of color as a result of the ongoing conflict in Gaza, and to call for the administration of CSU to do better in providing support for students affected by the conflict and advocate for a permanent ceasefire.
We'll see any additional discussion and debate on this. Okay, seeing none, we'll move into voting. Senator Monati.
I would like to also entertain for this as well. I know I've been doing it a lot. The motion to pass this with unanimous consent.
Do I see any dissent to that motion? Seeing none, the veto is overridden and this bill is passed with unanimous consent. Moving now into new business. Since this is all my legislation, I'm going to be handing this off to the Speaker pro tempore who will be leading this. So I will get out of there.
We're doing Senate bylaws, resolution 55401. Okay.
I am so sorry to interrupt. A point of personal privilege, I guess. When are we going to do the ratifications for new senators?
So that was in the beginning of the meeting. But
Oh, my apologies. I had trouble getting onto the Zoom at the beginning of the meeting. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
We could entertain a motion, since we have people who have been patiently waiting and the technological problems have not been, to any fault of their own. I would entertain a motion to do the, swearing in of new senators and associates that have been waiting.
I would like to motion to swear in any new senators and associate senators that were unable to do so earlier due to technical difficulties.
do I see any dissent to that motion? Okay, seeing none, we'll do that now. So any new senators and associates who wish to join? Guessing that's just senators.
Yeah, here, let's do this.
Excellent.
Do we have any justices still here,
I think they're left, so I can do that.
or? Okay, Elijah, you're still with us?
I am here. You'll have to settle for this beautiful picture of me from my associate graduation, my associate's degree graduation picture. I am not feeling good. I'm sorry I'm not there in person, but thank you for being understanding and flexible.
Absolutely. If you would raise your hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Elijah,
Do solemnly swear to defend and uphold
do solemnly swear to defend and uphold
rules and regulations set forth by the Constitution
the rules and regulations set forth by the Constitution
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University,
and will rightfully perform the duties of my office
and will rightfully perform the duties of my office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And now I will step off and we will look at the bylaws.
Not that one.
Go ahead, you have 10 minutes to present.
Hold on a second.
It gets pulled up because I remember to look for that.
So that's, there we go. That's right. Right. All right, we have resolution 5401. This resolution aims to pass the bylaws for the 54th Senate of ASCSU. You have 10 minutes.
Awesome. So we also have the document of the bylaws. If you could pull that up, please. The piece of legislation that goes with this is nice and simple. It's basically just saying this is the bylaws and we will be following that. What we actually want to be looking at is this, which is the document with all of the actual edits to the bylaws. If you have had a chance to take a look at that, you'll see that I made quite a few edits to that. So I'm definitely not going to go down and look at all of them now. But I guess a few notable ones I will point out quickly is so we have a strike system set up if people don't come to Senate and do the job that way and fulfill office hours and that kind of thing. And I set up an additional and separate system with committee attendance because that's a huge goal that I want to focus on is people coming to committees because that is the expectation and that is the job of a senator was to attend committees. So just instituting some accountability with that. Another one I'm excited about is kind of at the bottom dealing with ad hominem attacks, which is something that has been mentioned a lot in the past and not well defined. So I added a definition to that we can follow. That's some of the biggest ones off the top of my head, but like I said, we do have a lot of edits, so please take a look at this document when you get a chance. We can open this up to Q&A now.
Does anyone have any questions for Q&A?
Oh, actually, quickly, I apologize. I did have a quick edit I wanted to make to this. That was Article 3, Section 2. I wanted to take this section out of the bylaws completely, because that is a violation of the ASCSU Constitution, which is above the Senate bylaws, so this will just be taken out.
Specifically, all, this whole paragraph, all this?
All of it, A and B. And the heading that says executive session as well.
I think it should. Oh. Come on, a keyboard can't work? Oh, for heaven's sake. Oh, that's not. Like what an executive session is for those who don't know.
So yes, if you haven't had a chance to look at that, executive session is something that I have not seen in my time in ASCSU. It's something that is supposed to be a meeting that is closed to the public. And so that confidential matters like legal issues and personnel issues can be discussed. But the Constitution says that all meetings of the Senate shall be open to the public, and so that's a violation of that. So I just wanted to take that out and specify that. Should be nice and simple. Like I said, not something I've seen in ASCSU at all, so it's not something that I think would even come up, but just in case it does, we will have that consistent with the Constitution. Questions on anything, not just that one edit? Bylaws is quite a lengthy document.
Seeing none, I'm gonna go ahead and send this out to Internal Affairs, University Affairs, and DEI.
Hit it like you mean it, come on.
Come on.
Some passion. There we go. Please come to committees and take a look at the bylaws, because that's gonna establish how we do Senate.
Down 50, 403, Senate job descriptions. Okay. I am really getting to figure out a better way to do this. Okay.
Enable editing.
Why is it giving me that? Okay, there we go. All right, we have Bill 5403. This bill aims to define the Senate job descriptions for the 54th Senate.
I don't have much to add to that. That's exactly what this bill does. I did make quite a few edits as well to the job descriptions, which basically tells all of you and all of us, including myself, how to do the job that we have. So if you haven't had a chance to take a look at those, because I did make some edits to that, and we can open it up to Q&A now.
Senator McQuarrie?
I noticed that there's reduced offset requirements for specifically college engineering students.
Yes.
What was the reasoning behind that?
So typically in the past, the College of Engineering has had little to no representation within ASCSU. And I've actually know a lot of people in engineering. And anytime that I'm talking to them about Senate, the consistent answer that I get is that they just don't have time to do that. And so I thought that a good way to increase representation would be to help some students like that out. The graduate council as well has less office hours that they have to do because of kind of the same budget. So that's kind of why I made that edit, I suppose.
Okay, yeah, my concern was I know like there's other students that also are under a lot of workload. I know a lot of our non-traditional student community has other life commitments that make it hard with a 5-hour time commitment per week. And I was just curious why specifically engineering?
Because that one is, I think, the only one that traditionally has had a lack of representation within the space. And I know, like, I'm busy too. I know that we all feel busy, especially as the semester continues, but that has not been a historical block to people like us joining the Senate, when with people in the College of Engineering, it tends to be. I'm open to changing that in committees as well if we want to have discussions about that. I kind of thought that would be coming up, but
Thank you. I yield.
thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'm also going to send this to Internal Affairs, University Affairs, and DEI.
Woo! I want to apologize, that woo was not appropriate. My bad.
I don't think anything about today is. Okay, did that open over here? Okay, and
I think we should have a big TV on like that wall. So
yeah,
we can all
well,
see it.
we'll get this better set up.
Yeah.
We just didn't have it. Okay.
All right, we have Lex 5401, creation of an ASCSU Senate Marketing Officer. This Lex aims to create, fund, and define an ASCSU Senate Marketing Officer to manage marketing of the Senate.
This is a piece of legislation that I'm excited about. This is something I've wanted to do dating back, I think, to the 52nd Senate. And I finally feel like I'm in a position that I can do this and see this to be the place that I want it to be. So I wanted to have a big focus, and I talked a lot about this in my campaign, on outreach and getting the message of ASCSU and specifically of the Senate out to students on campus. Because if you talk to a lot of students like I do, most of them don't know what we do. If you talk about legislation as much as I do too, people tend to say, oh, I didn't know that was something that was happening. I would have wanted to voice my opinion on that. So I do want to have a way of getting Senate messaging out and handling those events. And I know that this is going to come up, so I'll just say this quickly also. The question of, is this just a lot like what the Officer of Recruitment and Retention does? And it's actually not. I think that the two of these have a lot in common, but I think that it has enough dissimilarities to make a new position to specifically handle that. I think that with what we have now of recruitment and retention, let's focus on kind of getting people to join the space, focused on keeping people in the space, telling them how the Senate does things. And a position like this one would be focused solely on pushing the message out of what we do, and so that people can be kind of passively involved in the Senate and not have to join and give a big time commitment to it. I also had a couple edits to this I wanted to do, but we can do that, I guess, in committee. Yeah. I will be changing the name, by the way, to, what did I say? Public Relations Officer. I think it sounds a little bit better, and I think it describes the position better. So that will be an edit that will be made. We'll also be adding to the job description things like alt text on social media posts, and so that we can have accessibility with that. I also made just a couple weeks ago a new Instagram account of the ASCSU Senate that a position like this would be hopefully managing and posting on to tell students kind of what we do in the Senate. Like I said, this has been a big goal of mine. It's something that I'm excited about. So we can move into Q&A.
This is just a general question, as this is a Lex. Can we pass this without a budgetary chair?
That is a good question, and I believe so. I don't think that we need that. I would like it if we could have that, just because it is dealing with funding as well. But if we don't have one, then
Yeah, I mostly ask that because technically Lex has to go through all the committees. So, yeah.
Even though that budgetary affairs is not established yet, we can still begin, this is a first read and we can still begin the process. It just won't see a third read until it's been through every committee.
Do you have any other questions?
You, madam.
Thank you. I believe we have a question on Zoom.
Yeah, so I am wondering, how do you envision the hiring process of this position? Is it going to be like internal elections, like parliamentarian and speaker pro tempore are? Is it going to be external hiring, like through handshakes? So I just was hoping you'd be able to speak more about that.
absolutely, that's a good question too. This is a position that I would like to have available to as many people as possible. It's one of those kinds of positions that you don't need to know tons about how Senate functions to be able to do it. You just need to be able to keep up with what Senate is doing and be able to post that. I would like to have a focus on as many students as we can possibly find. So I do plan on looking at getting something like that posted on Handshake, although the final selection of that position would be an election in the Senate, like all of the other positions, if that makes sense.
It does, thank you. And then another question is, how would this position be different from, like, for example, like the director of marketing who is in charge of the ASCSU Instagram versus the Senate Instagram?
Yeah, that's a good question too. This would have a specific focus on Senate. The ASCSU executive marketing team seems to have a focus on ASCSU as a whole, which tends to at times kind of pass over the Senate. No shade to them, obviously. But I do think that having a position that focuses specifically on the Senate and the kinds of legislation that we have and what we do is important, because I do believe that what the Senate does has value. And so being able to kind of get that message out would be helpful.
Cool, thank you. I yield.
Forgive me, I have my sunglasses on. Senator Laura?
Would this position be paid?
Yes, so this is a paid position. This would be, you can go down and find it. I don't know exactly off the top of my head. It's the same amount that the parliamentarian and recruitment and retention officer make, because I think it would be a kind of a similar commitment with time and the kind of duties that the job would be doing. So yes, it would be a paid position.
How much?
Down.
Well, it's doing this weird split thing that I don't appreciate. Well, you can't look at it on here. You gotta look at it on here. It's, I don't have this set up very well. Actually, here, let's do this.
It's okay, someone answered my question.
And what was that? Just
3,600.
thank you.
And that leads into my third question. How are you planning to make this position available for undocumented students? Because it is a paid position and undocumented students aren't allowed to work under anything. So how are you planning to make this available for undocumented students?
So I don't know exactly what the LSC does with hiring, but I think that all of the paid positions within the Senate, so myself and committee chairs, and all of Senate leadership fall under the employment of the LSC. And so I don't know exactly how that would go, but it would be just like anybody else in the space who's elected by the Senate. Yeah, I don't know specifically how the LSC does things, but the Senate would have the option to vote on that. But I can definitely look into that.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you a few resources. Go ahead and grab a pen and paper and write this down. So if you want to make this position available for undocumented students, I'd recommend for you to make this a fellowship. That includes a stipend towards the end, and that stipend would be $3,644. You would also have to make sure that this stipend wouldn't affect with undocumented students' financial aid. A point of contact that I'd probably give you is the Marion Tiveros Fellowship. Look it up, and from there, just contact that person because I don't have that direct contact info. But yeah, I'm just trying to make these positions available for everyone, and I'd love for you to take initiative and actually include everyone in this. And yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we can definitely look into that. And that's discussions I think that we can have in committees as well.
My time.
Senator Pickrell?
So I want to clarify, for the first year, are we going to pull this out of Senate's discretionary?
Yes.
And then from there on out, we'll budget it.
I would imagine that would be put into the budget as we continue. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. That was my. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions? With that, gonna go ahead and I can set it everywhere because budgetary doesn't exist, right? Or,
What do you mean?
I'm a little lost. Okay. This doesn't have to immediately go to budgetary, right?
No.
Because we have no budgetary.
So I would send it to 2 committees now, and then after we do the second reading, we send it to the other 2.
Awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and send it to Internal Affairs and University Affairs. I'd like to motion to table the rest of new business. It seems like a lot right now. Wow.
That's you. Yes.
For a second, then, you would,
Voice?
by default, usually, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, hearing a second, we're gonna go ahead and do a voice vote. Those in.
Motion to do this by unanimous consent.
I
Do I
second.
hear? I'm confused. Do I hear any dissent to that motion? Hearing no dissent, the motion is passed.
I know.
Moving on now to committee reports, beginning with internal.
Best one first. Internal is meeting, hold on, 3 to 4 on Monday.
Yeah, meeting 3 to 4 Mondays, please come. It'll be fun. Yeah, I.
Next up, university affairs.
Come to committee Thursdays, 12 to 1. Thank you.
And DEI.
Come to committee 1 to 2 Tuesdays.
Now caucus reports. If we have-
I was our vice chair of accessibility caucus last year, and we are actively searching for our leadership, and we have a ton of updates. So maybe we think about potentially a guest speaker spot. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. We'll be putting out in our group meet a when to meet about when to start meetings so we can find our leadership. Obviously that can't be me. I can't hold the dual role. But just know that that's happening, and I'll put that on the ASCSU general chat as well.
Any additional caucus reports?
Hello, the new chair. As I am actively going around my schedule, haven't decided on a time as yet, but until then, it will be announced at the next Senate session. And in the meantime, please advertise students of the Oval as it is a new caucus. Thank you. Thank you.
Moving now into ending roll call. Motion to use beginning roll call and ending roll call, and also allow anyone who joined in late, just hop on it later. Do I see any dissent to that motion? Okay, seeing none, that's what we'll do. And meeting adjourned. Thank you all. I'll see you next Wednesday. It's over. I'm no longer bound by parliamentary procedure. Sorry about all your bills, Hayden.